Be prepared. Everything you think you're seeing is about to crack open, and the truth behind it won't be easy to handle. What if everything you've ever seen has only been a reflection, never the real thing? Because tomorrow, on June 9th, Jupiter slides into Cancer, and with it comes the shattering of visual illusion. And it's already starting to take place. You've been taught to trust your eyes, but the third eye, it doesn't look, it reveals. And once you awaken your third eye, you'll start to see things you won't be able to unsee. This is not just a cute, spiritual upgrade. This is a full rewiring of what you think is obvious. Oh, and if lately you've been feeling this shift, starting to see the truth behind things, feel free to share. And if you want, you can leave 888 along with your comment in order to align with the clarity that's coming in. And watch out, because very soon, you'll start to question who you even are. And when that moment hits, you need to know what it really means. I will explain it in just a bit, so stick with me. But first, there's something else you need to know. Because even if you try to ignore this shift, you'll still feel it. You don't have to believe in the third eye for it to open. This isn't a spiritual invitation, it's a cosmic chain reaction. Jupiter doesn't ask, it expands. And when it moves into Cancer, it doesn't knock on your door, it walks straight in. You don't need to meditate, you don't need to believe in chakras. You could be scrolling your feed or washing dishes, and suddenly you feel it. A strange pulse, a drop in your stomach, a wave of meaning that has no words. It doesn't care what you think. It moves through everyone. Jupiter amplifies every current. So whether you're aligned or avoiding it, you'll feel the charge. Your intuition starts skipping ahead of your logic, and your thoughts, they're not arriving from you anymore, they're arriving through you. This is no longer a personal experience, it's collective activation. And here's the twist, the people who resist it the most, they often feel it stronger. But this is just the surface, because what's coming next might already be happening to you. You'll wake up knowing things you never studied. You'll answer questions you don't remember hearing. And no, it's not your imagination. It's not delusion. This is what happens when the third eye wakes up under Jupiter's expansion in Cancer. It's not about seeing with your mind. It's about remembering something that was never taught. You might catch yourself saying things you've never heard before, describing feelings in perfect words you've never learned. You'll sense things before they happen, understand things that were never explained to you. This is the drift, the psychic bleed-through, the impressions that are starting to arrive instead of facts. And the wildest part? It won't feel foreign. It'll feel familiar, because the knowledge doesn't enter through the front door of logic. It rises from inside, like it was always there. You won't be learning, you'll be remembering. This is not about gaining information. This is not some sudden boost in intelligence. It's deeper. The third eye doesn't open to teach you, it opens to remind you. Some people are calling it déjà vu, others call it intuition, but it's more than that. You're not just predicting moments, you're participating in a larger knowing that's always been moving underneath the surface, and now it's bubbling up. Watch for the sudden knowings, because Jupiter isn't sending you logic, it's sending signals. And your third eye has just started to tune in. And once it locks on, everything starts to move differently. You're not losing track of time. Time is starting to lose track of itself. Jupiter expands everything it touches, and Cancer doesn't move in a straight line. It loops, bends, spirals. Put the two together, and what you get is temporal distortion. That's why the last 3 hours felt like 10 minutes. or why a short interaction today somehow exhausted you like you just lived through a whole week. This isn't burnout. This is the warping of time perception. Time isn't broken. It's just not following your rules anymore. Some people will feel stretched thin, like the day keeps dragging with no end. Others will feel like they blinked and lost half the week. And many will feel both at the same time. This happens because your energy body is no longer syncing perfectly with linear time. You might feel wired in the middle of the night and bone-tired by mid-afternoon. You'll plan things for later and suddenly realize later is already now. This is the body reacting to shifts in the flow of time, not the clock, but the experience of it. And here's the catch. This won't just happen when you're meditating or zoning out. It'll happen mid-conversation, in public, on your way to work. Time will leak in and out of itself while you're fully awake. And while it might feel confusing at first, this is actually the body adjusting to non-linear awareness. Your third eye isn't only seeing more, it's feeling more. And that includes how time actually behaves when it's not flattened into a calendar. You were taught to move through time. Now time is starting to move through you. And this isn't random, it's the side effect of something bigger. Because when time begins to bend, energy begins to break through, and that's when the stranger symptoms begin to show up. Have you noticed it already? People who used to look you straight in the eyes now hesitate. Strangers glance past you, like your face is too bright. Conversations cut off mid-sentence. Someone suddenly needs to go without any real reason. They're not being rude. They're responding to something they can't explain. This isn't about awkwardness. It's not shyness. It's energetic. When your third eye begins to tune in, especially under this rare Jupiter in Cancer alignment, your gaze becomes a transmission. It's no longer just you looking out. There's something looking back. And even if people don't understand it consciously, their bodies do. Their nervous systems do. Their subconscious registers something it doesn't have language for. A presence, a signal, a call to truth. And most people, they weren't ready to be seen like that. Your eyes used to reflect. Now they reveal you're not doing anything wrong. In fact, you're just being. But that's the very thing that stirs others. Because when your third eye is active, you become a mirror people didn't ask to look into. So they'll retreat, avoid. Some may even become irritated around you and won't understand why. You'll hear them say things like, "Something about you feels intense," or, "I don't know, I just feel weird around you now." They're not judging you. They're responding to the weight of your new frequency. Because when you walk into a room, you're not just carrying a vibe, you're carrying a field, a ripple of awakened energy that confronts the illusions people still live inside. Don't be surprised if you find yourself having shorter conversations, fewer meaningless interactions, and more pauses that feel loaded with invisible tension. You've stepped into a new zone, one where truth hums under the surface of your every word. And here's the twist. This isn't something you can turn off. The more your third eye syncs with Jupiter's influence, the more magnetic and polarizing you become. Your aura is no longer background noise. It's a frequency people have to deal with. Some will avoid you, but others will gravitate toward you like moths to a flame. They won't know why they feel calm around you or why their guard drops without effort. That's the flip side of this visibility. The right people feel safe under it, because you don't just reveal people, you also remind them who they are. If you've been waking up at the same hour multiple nights in a row, it's not a coincidence. This is the internal alarm of your third eye syncing with the cosmic pulses around you. And under Jupiter in Cancer, these pulses become almost impossible to ignore. We're not talking about tossing and turning. This is the eerie precision of waking up at 4:22 a.m. for 3 days straight, or opening your eyes in the exact moment right before your alarm, almost like your body already knew. And it did, because once Jupiter amplifies Cancer's intuitive currents, your subtle senses begin syncing to non-physical rhythms. You're being stirred not by sound or sensation, but by energy alignment. Your body isn't broken, it's responding to an invitation. That's what this is, an invitation, a quiet cosmic nudge. Twilight and pre-dawn hours, those strange liminal pockets of time, become access points. Your mind is quiet, your ego is still half asleep, and in that delicate space, the signal gets through. That's why some people wake with sudden insights. Others report hearing names or seeing shapes or symbols the moment they snap out of sleep. Some wake with tears in their eyes and don't know why. Others feel a strange presence, like they weren't alone in the room. It's not always comfortable, because you're being activated in ways your conscious mind can't grasp yet. But once this starts, it tends to repeat, not out of randomness, but resonance. Spiritual wake-up calls don't ring loud, they ring on time. Don't dismiss these wake-ups, track them, write down the times, write down the feelings, because they are telling you something, and soon the pattern will emerge. And once it does, you'll realize you're not waking up from something. You're waking up to something, and it's about to get even stranger. Because when you mix energetic recognition with altered time and cosmic pulses, the body starts to do things no one warned you about. You're not imagining it. That rush, that sudden, urgent need to grab your phone, a notebook, the back of a receipt, anything, because something just hit you and you can't afford to lose it. It doesn't feel like a normal thought. It's more like a transmission. Fast, fleeting, important. That's Jupiter in Cancer. And it's triggering something deep, the instinct to document what doesn't yet make sense. This isn't journaling. This isn't Dear Diary. This is psychic record keeping. It's you receiving flashes of something bigger than you, and your only job in the moment is to capture it before it slips back into the unseen. You're not overthinking, you're overhearing. These aren't just thoughts, they're imprints, ideas, symbols, sentences that come through fully formed and then vanish if not written down within seconds. You might not even know what it means. You might look back later and think, why did I write this? But trust this, it'll make sense when it needs to. Jupiter is the cosmic broadcaster. Cancer is the emotional vessel. And together, they're turning your mind into a receptive antenna. You're not coming up with things, you're tuning in. Expect half-finished phrases to hold more weight than full essays. Expect to wake up with sentences echoing in your head that you didn't fall asleep thinking about. And if you don't write them down, you'll feel a strange, almost loss-like sensation, like something valuable slipped away before you could catch it. That's the weirdest part. What you write down today, you'll need later. It's like breadcrumbing your own destiny, one scribbled sentence at a time. So keep a pen nearby, or open a fresh page now, because you might get hit with one mid-breath. And once this next layer unfolds, you'll realize these notes weren't just for memory. They were a form of navigation. And just when you thought this all couldn't get stranger, you'll sit in silence, and then suddenly realize it's not really silent. Maybe it's a high-pitched ring in your ear that fades as quickly as it came. Maybe it's a random noise you heard. And here's the kicker. When you ask others, they didn't hear a thing. Welcome to clairaudience. Your third eye doesn't just see beyond the veil, it listens. The silence won't be silent anymore. And it can be subtle at first. You'll question it. You'll think your ears are playing tricks on you, but then it keeps happening. And not randomly, rhythmically, patterns, echoes. Jupiter in Cancer isn't just about emotional depth, it's about spiritual tuning. And sound is one of the earliest ways energy begins to leak into conscious awareness. You might hear your name when no one called it. Your ears aren't broken, your perception is expanding. What you're tuning into isn't physical, it's dimensional. You're picking up on energy, intention, frequency. The veil between thought and sound is thinning. And here's the fascinating part. Many people who experience this begin to notice animals reacting differently too. Pets tilt their heads, birds go quiet. It's like they hear it too. But this goes beyond just hearing. Soon you'll start to feel sound. You'll walk into places and instantly know if something's off, without anyone speaking. You'll hear someone say, "I'm fine," and feel that they're absolutely not. Your ears are the portal, but it's your energy that's listening. Don't brush this off as coincidence, because when clairaudience kicks in, your whole relationship to reality changes. Words become layered, silences become loaded, and sound becomes a messenger. You will literally feel the awakening inside your skull. You might be rubbing your forehead more often lately, pressing between your eyebrows without thinking, feeling a strange warmth, a soft buzz, a vague tightness that won't turn into a real headache, but still somehow demands your attention. That's not random tension. That's energy moving. It's happening gently, subtly, but unmistakably, and right at the center of your third eye. Jupiter's expansion is focused now, not scattered. And in Cancer, a sign of sensitive inner terrain, it isn't blasting through your senses, it's soaking through your system. Slowly, consistently, almost like a current threading itself through your body's forgotten power lines. That tingling sensation, it's one of the oldest signals of third eye activation, the slight pressure, a harmless yet clear sign that energy is pooling and building in the pineal region. Some describe it as a weightless finger pressing on their brow. Others say it feels like the skin between their eyebrows is pulsing, even though nothing is physically happening. You're not imagining it, you're finally sensing it. Don't panic. These feelings are safe. You're not sick, you're sensitive. The forehead tension won't spike into a migraine. It doesn't come from stress, it comes from stimulation. You're not under pressure, you're under activation, and it doesn't end with tingles. Some people report flashes of soft light when they close their eyes, or a sudden warmth across the forehead that passes in seconds. That's your body saying, "We've gone online." Think of it like a satellite dish being fine-tuned. You're aligning with frequencies that were always there, but finally coming through clearly, and your physical vessel is catching up. So the next time you feel that soft hum behind your eyes, don't swat it away. It's not a distraction, it's a signal, and it means the next stage is already starting to calibrate. You're brushing your teeth. Then suddenly it hits you. You lock eyes with yourself in the mirror, and for a split second, you don't recognize who you are. Not in a scary way, more like you're seeing yourself as if for the first time. Noticing your presence, your aliveness, the weirdness of being a person in a body with a name and a story. Welcome to the calibration phase. This isn't dissociation, this isn't spacing out. This is awareness flooding the system too fast for the mind to organize. These aren't identity crises, These are consciousness check-ins. Jupiter in Cancer isn't just cosmic weather, it's a mirror. And your third eye, now increasingly active, doesn't just perceive energy, it reflects it. And sometimes that reflection turns inward. You'll catch yourself mid-scroll, wondering why you even care about what you're looking at. You'll pause during a conversation and realize you're watching yourself speak like an observer. You might even ask, wait, why am I even here? What am I doing? It doesn't last long, but it stays with you. These who am I moments aren't interruptions. They're initiation pulses. You're not losing yourself, you're meeting yourself briefly, clearly, as if a fog just cleared and you're seeing through the personality into the presence. This is what it feels like when awareness expands faster than identity can keep up. Not dangerous, just unfamiliar and deeply awakening. The self you've been performing pauses. The self that's been watching quietly steps in. Some will resist these moments, others will anchor into them, but make no mistake, they're important. These are the milliseconds where transformation actually begins. And the more your third eye opens, the more often these moments will arrive. Faster, sharper, deeper. So if you've been feeling like reality gets a little too crisp sometimes, like you blink and everything feels too real, you're not malfunctioning. You're aligning. It won't be loud, but it will be irreversible. The change doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It won't knock on your door or send a signal through the sky. Instead, it slips in. Quiet. Subtle. Permanent. Tomorrow, June 9th, is not just another date on the calendar, it's a threshold. The kind that looks like nothing until you've already crossed it. Right now, Jupiter is inching into alignment, not with planets, not with places, but with you. And as it moves deeper into Cancer, it triggers a soft lock. What's a soft lock? It's when the energy settles just enough to become part of your system, like ink soaking into paper, like a scent clinging to your clothes. From that point on, even if you go back to your old routine, something in you won't follow. Your inner world is being sealed into a new baseline. It's not a jolt, it's a reprint. June 9th isn't the day something happens, it's the day something finishes happening. You might feel nothing unusual in the morning. You'll brush your teeth, scroll your feed, drink your coffee like always. But sometime during the day, maybe while you're zoning out or sitting in silence, you'll feel it. A strange stillness, a pause inside your chest, and then a deep knowing. The way you used to think about certain things will suddenly feel outdated. A feeling you couldn't name before will now have texture. A realization you've been chasing will land fully, and you won't be able to unknow it. Some people will describe it as a shift in mood. Others will say, I don't know what changed, but it did. And by the time you're falling asleep tomorrow night, you'll feel it like a whisper in your nervous system, a rearrangement, a calmness, or maybe a gentle buzzing in your limbs. Nothing dramatic, but undeniable. You won't need proof. You will feel it. And more importantly, something in you will stop needing to ask if it's real, because it will just be true. You won't remember the exact moment it happened, only that after June 9th, things didn't go back. Some people will feel more intuitive. Others will start seeing synchronicities accelerate. You might notice strange dreams, sudden clarity in confusing relationships, or even physical shifts, like wanting different food, or preferring new colors, or being drawn to unfamiliar music. These are not trends, they're recalibrations, and they begin their final lock-in tomorrow. So tonight, as the last layer of the old field dissolves, don't worry if you feel restless. That's just the energy adjusting. And tomorrow? Tomorrow is the switch. No alarms, no ceremonies, just a line in the sand that your soul will step over quietly, permanently. And after that, things start getting strange. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.